How's it going? Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking all about triads. So I'm going to show you how to play major triads, minor triads, augmented triads, and diminished triads in all inversions, all over the fretboard. So there's a lot of information here today. There's a lot of benefits to learning triads. First of all, you're going to get a really great amount of fretboard mastery and knowledge from learning these triads. Being able to play anything you want all over the fretboard is always a good idea. Another really good benefit of learning triads is if you're in a jam session with another guitar player and you've both just been given maybe a set of chords to play, for example, C, F, and G, then it's going to be kind of boring if both of you play the same thing. So if I was to choose maybe a few triads up here, C, F, G, then it's just going to thicken the sound up, make things sound a bit more varied and interesting. So that's another really good reason why you should learn triads, and also they're really good for solos. So if you've got a chord, then you can just use the triads of those chords and arpeggiate them, and they sound really cool over your rhythm parts, as well as being able to locate the chord tones of any chord that you're playing. So any phrases you write, you can finish on a chord tone because you know the triads of whatever chord is being played over the top. So let's stop talking and get straight into the triads. So first of all, major triads. A major triad is made up of your root, your major third, and a perfect fifth. And we are going to be playing an A major triad. So let's take a look at how to play the A major triad. So first of all, we're going to play on the low E string, fret number 5, that's our A. And we're going to use our little finger, fret number 4 on the A string, and fret number 2 on the D string, root, third, fifth. And we've got a root position, A major chord. Now, if we move up 4 frets, so we move up to the 9th fret, then we play the 7th fret of the A and D strings, we get the first inversion. Now the first inversion is basically where we put the third as the lowest note, then the fifth, then the root note. So we have 9, 7, 7. And then if we move up 3 frets to the 12th fret, then we get 12, 12, and 11. So 12 on the E, 12 on the A, and 11 on the D. And we get second inversion. And what second inversion is where the fifth is the lowest note, then the root, then the third. So those are our 3 shapes on the first set of strings, our 3 inversions. Now let's move everything down to the A string. So all the shapes remain the same, but the location is different now. First of all, we're playing 12, 11, and 9 on the A, D, and G strings. That's our root position shape. Of course, we have to move up 4 frets to find our first inversion. So we're playing 16, 14, and 14. But this is quite high up, so let's go an octave down and play 4, 2, 2. 4 on the A, 2 on the D, and 2 on the G. There's our first inversion triad. And then for our second inversion, again, we move up 3 frets and play that same shape we did up here. And we're going to play 7, 7, and 6. 7 on the A, 7 on the D, and 6 on the G. Okay, so the first 2 sets of strings, all the shapes were the same, but of course the locations were different. And now on the last 2 sets of strings, the shapes change up a little bit. So A major, A on the D string is the 7th fret. So we're going to play 7 on the D, 6 on the G, and 5 on the B. And that's our root position. Then again, we go up 4 frets to find our first inversion. So that would be the 11th fret, and that means we're playing 11 on the D, 9 on the G, and 10 on the B. Like that. Then our second inversion will be 3 frets higher. So we're moving up to the 14th fret of the D string, 14 on the G, and 14 on the B. But it's past the 12th fret, so we can play an octave lower at the 2nd fret of all those strings. So the 2nd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G, and 2nd fret of the B. And as you can see, that's an A chord. And now finally, our last string set for our major chords. We're going to play 2 on the G string because that's our A, then 2 on the B string, and the open E string. So that's our root position. Then our first inversion shape would be 4 frets higher at the 6th fret. So we're playing 6, 5, and 5. like that, 6 on the G, 5 on the B, 5 on the E. And then our second inversion is 3 frets higher again, so starting on the 9th fret, and we're playing 9 on the G, 10 on the B, and 9 on the high E. So there you have it, you've got 12 different places you can play your A major arpeggio. Just like that. Now, what I'd recommend is, after you've learned these shapes, practice them around the circle of fifths. And what I mean by that is, if you start on C, then play all 12 C triads, then move to G and play all 12 G triads, and just work your way around the circle of fifths, and your fretboard knowledge is going to really improve by doing that. And that goes for all the triads I'm going to be showing you today. The next set of triads is the minor triads, and we're going to stick to A, so we're going to play an A minor triad, and that is 5, 3, and 2. Now, as you can see, it's only 1 fret difference from our first shape, and that's because we are playing a root and a fifth, but the third is flattened. That's how you create a minor chord. So we're playing 5 on the low E string, 3 on the A string, and 2 on the D string. That's our root position A minor chord. With the major triads, we moved up 4 frets to get our first inversion, and then 3 frets to get our second inversion. With minor triads, we switched this around. So we move 3 frets up to find our first inversion, and then we move another 4 frets up to find our second inversion. So 3 frets higher than the 5th fret is the 8th fret, and we're going to play 8 on the low E string, 7 on the A, and 7 on the D. And that is our first inversion. And then we're going to move 4 frets up for our second inversion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the 12th fret. And we're going to play 12 on the low E, 12 on the A, and 10 on the D. Fantastic. So those are our 3 inversions on the first set. Now for A minor on the A string, again, the shapes are exactly the same, but obviously they're in different locations. 12, 10, and 9. 12 on the A, 10 on the D, and 9 on the G. That's our root position. Then if we move up 3 frets, we get 15, 14, and 14. But of course we can bring that down an octave to 3, 2, and 2, which is exactly what I'm going to do. 3 on the A, 2 on the D, and 2 on the G. Then if we move up another 4 frets to get our second inversion, we are playing 7, 7, and 5. There you go. Now if we move to the D string, the next set of strings, we are going to be playing 7, 5, and 5. So 7 on the D, 5 on the G, and 5 on the B. Now if we move up 3 frets, we get the 10th fret, and we're going to be playing the 10th on the D, 9th on the G, and the 10th on the B string. There you go. Now if we move up another 4 frets, that's the 14th fret, and we're going to play 14 on the D, 14 on the G, and 13 on the B. Every fret here is past the 12th fret, so we can move it down an octave. So we're actually playing 2, 2, and 1, like that. So that's our second inversion shape. Again, just like an A minor chord. For the last set of strings, we are playing 2, 1, and open. So 2 on the G, 1 on the B, and open on the high E. Then we move up 3 frets to get our first inversion. So that's the 5th fret of the G string, 5th fret of the B string, and 5th fret of the E string, like that. You can bar it, that's an easy way of doing it. Then we move up another 4 frets to get our second inversion, and that is 9 on the G string, 10 on the B string, and 8 on the high E string. There you go. So there you have it, 12 minor shapes. Now the next set of triads we're going to learn are diminished triads. Diminished triads consist of a root, a flat third, and a flat fifth, and they sound pretty tense. So let's do an A diminished triad and all 12 shapes of our A diminished triad. So first of all, we are playing 5 on the low E, 3 on the A, and 1 on the D. It's a little bit of a stretch. Then we are going to be moving up 3 frets for the first inversion and another 3 frets for the second inversion. So 3 frets higher than 5 is 8, and what we're going to be playing is 8 on the low E, 6 on the A, and 7 on the D. There you go. Then we are going to be moving up another 3 frets, as I said, and we're going to be playing 11 on the E, 12 on the A, and 10 on the D. There you have it. So that's our first string set. Reposition, first inversion, second inversion. Same thing again, all the shapes are the same on the A string set, so 12, 10, 8 for our root position. Then 15, 13, 14 for our first inversion, which can be moved down to 3, 1, and 2, which is what I'm going to do there. And then the second inversion is another 3 frets higher, which is fret number 6, and we play 6, 7, and 5. Like that. Alright, so the next set of strings, A is the 7th fret of the D string. Then we're going to be playing 5 on the G and 4 on the B string, just like that. Then our first inversion shape, again we're moving up 3 frets. Then we're playing, that's the 10th fret, so we're playing the 8th fret of the G and the 10th fret of the B string, just like that. Then we move up 3 frets again, and we get 13, 14, and 13, which can be moved down an octave to 1, 2, and 1. Like that. The G string, our A is at the 2nd fret, but we can't fit the entire diminished root position shape here, so we have to go up an octave, and that is 14, 13, and 11. Like that. 14 on the G, 13 on the B, and 11 on the high E. Then, if we move up 3 frets from our 2nd fret, then we get the 5th fret. So we're playing 5 on the G, 4 on the B string, and 5 on the high E string. Like that. If we move up another 3 frets to the 8th fret, we're going to play 8, 10, and 8. So 8 on the G, 10 on the B, and 8 on the high E. And there is our second inversion, A diminished triad. So those are the 12 shapes, and our final set of triads are the augmented triads. Now, augmented triads consist of a root, a third, major third, and an augmented 5th. And the really cool thing about the augmented triads is that for each string set, you only need to learn 1 shape, because the inversions are played exactly the same way. So let's work this out. So the first shape, our A augmented triad, is 5, 4, and 3. So 5 on the low E, 4 on the A, and 3 on the D string. Now all we have to do is move up 4 frets, so up to the 9th fret, and play the same shape, and we get our first inversion. And then our second inversion is another 4 frets higher again. So 13, 12, and 11. Super simple. Then for our next set of strings, the same shape applies, so 12, 11, and 10. And then we move up 4 frets to 16, 15, and 14 to get our next inversion, but let's bring that down an octave to 4, 3, and 2. And then you can just go up another 4 frets, so up to the 8th fret. And we play 8, 7, and 6, and we get the second inversion. Super simple. Now if we move to the D string, the shape changes, but again, all the inversions are exactly the same shape on the same set of strings. So 7 on the D, 6 on the G, and 6 on the B string make our A augmented triad in root position. Then to get the first inversion, we just move up 4 frets, 11, 10, 10. And then for the second inversion, we move up another 4 frets, 15, 14, 14, which could also be played as 3, 2, and 2. And then for the last set of strings, the G, B, and E strings, the first shape is 2, 2, 1. That's our root position, A augmented triad. Then we move up 4 frets to 6, 6, and 5. And that is the first inversion. And we move up 4 frets again to 10, 10, and 9. And that is our second inversion. So there you have it. You now know how to play major, minor, diminished, and augmented triads across the fretboard. All you've got to do now is practice the hell out of these to remember them, and use the circle of fifths like I mentioned earlier in the video so that you can get a grip of it in all 12 keys. If you enjoyed the video, please click like. If you learned a lot, please click like. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Are there any other things that you would like to learn? Let me know in the comments too. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you click that notification bell so that anytime I release a new video, you are notified. And if you want to be able to write some really cool chord progressions, I've got the first 2 chapters of my book, Chord Charisma, available down in the description for free. And those 2 chapters are going to show you how to write a cool chord progression with our 7 diatonic chords in our key. I'm going to show you which chords work better before and after others, so you don't really have to struggle and guess which chord goes where. And then from there, I'm going to show you how to add extensions to those chords like 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths with all the chord shapes available to you as well. So it'll make your chord progression sound really nice, sophisticated, and jazzy. It's completely free, so you've got nothing to lose. Go to the description, check that out. Also, if you are enjoying my content and you wish to support the channel, then head to my Patreon, and for as little as $2 a month, you can help the channel out. It's really greatly appreciated to everyone who is subscribed to my Patreon. I really appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in the next video. See you later and have a good day.